Oh, that's the Acropolis. This is our balcony. Are you serious?
Wow.
I am so excited.
That's her?
That's her. In person. Oh my gosh. This is our balcony. That's so crazy. What? The Acropolis is the highest point in an ancient Greek city-state. This stone-walled fortress was the city's last line of defense against invasion, so if they were under attack, they could all retreat up to the Acropolis. The Acropolis of Athens is the most famous Acropolis. It is home to some world-famous ancient ruins. After Athens was destroyed during the Persian Wars, Pericles rebuilt the Acropolis with richly decorated temples and monuments. The city's leaders poured money into beautifying the city with the finest architecture, art, and sculpture. Pericles transformed Athens into one of the most magnificent cities in the ancient world. We're currently on Areopagus Hill, which is also called Mars Hill. So, according to Greek mythology, Ares, the god of war, was tried here by the gods for the murder of Poseidon. It's also one of the best places to get a view of the Acropolis, and also the Apostle Paul here made one of his most famous speeches, and people would meet here for philosophy and law. We've made it to the Acropolis. We're gonna go to the Acropolis Museum, which is back this way, and then we're gonna explore the Acropolis after. Really hot. Okay, bye. We're in the Acropolis Museum. What did you just do?
Let's just say they cleaned the glass really good here.
He ran smack into one of these, just like straight into it. Oh my gosh. It's time. We go in. We're hiking up. I'm sweaty already. This is the Odeon, which is a theater that hosted Greek plays and Roman spectacles. It was built in 161 AD. Today it's still used for performances. You can actually see down there, they're preparing for a performance.
Parce que les verrues, il y a des décors qui sont venus à peine
Behind me is the temple of Athena Nike. Athena is the goddess of Athens. It's what Athens was named after. And they thought that Athena, worshipping her, would bring them victory. And so this was built about 425 BC, and it was adorned with lots of statues of Athena on the outside. And in the inside, they commemorated a statue to commemorate their victory in the Battle of Plataea, which we have studied. Something interesting, it says the Athenians purposely broke the statue's wings to force Athena to stay to protect their city. You can see the columns are the Ionic style, which has like the scroll at the top. We've also studied that. Also, the statue on the inside is also meant to ensure victory over the Spartans in the Peloponnesian War. Behind me is the Acropolis, which is the entrance to the Acropolis. It had like a central hallway and then side wings that had art and where they would house like VIP guests.
I think what you have on is
and you can see the columns that they're the Doric style, which we've studied. So we're about to go in. Okay, so we just passed through the Acropolis. You can see it used to be covered, and it was actually colored like light blue or painted light blue with stars on the ceiling. And this would have actually been a really bright building with floral patterns on some places. There she is. Parthenon. We're here.
Made it.
I'm sweaty. This is amazing.
So worth it.
So cool to see it in person.
Show them the view.
Behind me is the Erechtheion, which you can see there are 6 pillars of Athena. There used to be a 30-foot statue of Athena that stood somewhere between the Acropolis and the Parthenon next to the Erechtheion. You can still see the remains of the 3 stones where the statue once stood. These pillars of Athena are actually the replicas. I'll show you the video of the actual ones that were in the Acropolis Museum. But just over the span of 50 years, their faces were damaged by pollution, so that's why they had to put the replicas there to save them. It's really sad. Okay, so I just found out that all of these stones in front of the Erechtheion are actually the remains of a Mycenaean temple that was built centuries before the Erechtheion. It's pretty cool. Those are really old. So that's an olive tree, and this marks the location where legend says that Athena planted the first olive tree as a gift to Athens. So that's pretty cool. This is the other side of the Erechtheion. You can see the Ionic style columns. The view up here is amazing. I'll show you. Obviously you can see all of Athens because you're at the highest point of Athens on the Acropolis. Our Airbnb is somewhere by that mountain.
Building, you see what
Okay
I'm
guys,
talking
I found it. Our Airbnb is right there. That brown one, right there with the rocks.
Yep.
We've been trying to do the pictures, but... Okay guys, this is obviously the most famous thing on the Acropolis. It stands 490 feet above sea level at the highest point of the Acropolis. This is the Parthenon. It is the largest historic temple in Greece. It is 228 feet long and 101 feet wide. So on each end, so like this is an end, there are 8 columns. And on the sides there are 17 columns, so altogether there are 46 columns. There are 19 inner columns, so you can see some of them still standing on the inside. So this would have been really magnificent back 2,500 years ago when it was built. It would have been very beautiful, and on the inside there would have been a lot of statues and artwork that were painted bright colors. This awe-inspiring temple was built around 450 BC. It would have taken about 10 years to build. Something interesting, if you look at the columns here, they look like they are perfectly straight and parallel, but that's actually not true. So the architects knew that like completely straight columns look like they're pointing outward, so they're actually tilted inward slightly to keep it like from looking like they're like bending out from each other, and also to keep it from looking like it's sagging. And yeah, that's Parthenon, guys. The viewpoint from the south end of the Acropolis allows you to see a lot of the ancient ruins from above, such as the Panathenaic Stadium where the first modern Olympic Games were held, the Temple of Olympian Zeus, the Theater of Dionysus, which was the world's first and oldest theater where plays and dramas were born, right next to the Theater of Dionysus, you can see the Temple of Asclepius. And next to that, you can see the prison of Socrates, which is where they believe Socrates was imprisoned. What do you think about it? That was really cool to see in person. Such a cool experience for you.
A lot of history.
What would you say as you have a book around your nose? I was going to try to zoom in, but I won't let me. The Acropolis was definitely the highlight of our time in Athens. Every evening we would race back to our Airbnb so we could watch the sunset and the Acropolis from our balcony until dark.